milk hadn't come in yet. He was struggling the first couple days to nurse, and then it came in so heavy that as we were departing the hospital, I became engorged. And that was a really trying thing for me, having to open up, being that I was always such a shy and reserved person. I remember his mom coming over and offering to help me feed my son, and coming up in my room and holding my breast and shoving it in my son's mouth and trying to get him to open his mouth and take the nipple and feed. And it's a really sobering experience, and you learn really quickly that your body is just your body. There's nothing private about it after birth. Even during the delivery process itself, I felt more bad for me, because as I was getting comfortable and finding which way I was comfortable giving birth, I quickly took my gown off. My gown was a constriction, and I was hot, and I just needed to be free. And I contorted around the bed, and I turned over and was butt up and head down and sideways. And I'm glad my father didn't come sooner, because he would have had quite a sight to see. But I think that was the most amusing part of it all. But even after that, after failing with my boyfriend's mom, we were able to supplement and pump, and through pumping he was able to nurse. But I had to go and utilize the lactation consultant at our local WIC offices, and it was the same experience. There were 3 ladies in the office, and had to lay on a bed, and they were showing me different techniques on how to nurse my son, and I had to take my breasts out in front of 3 women I'd never met before, and they fondled my breast and tried to soften them up and get them prepared for my son, and teach me how to hold him in different ways to best support him and best get the food to him. And it was just surreal that that's acceptable. And breastfeeding, it's odd how taboo it is now. I don't remember ever seeing it. Hi. I can't think of anyone in my family that I ever witnessed breastfeeding. Everyone I know, all my nieces and cousins were bottle fed. But it was very important to me, from everything I read and everything that was shared to me through friends who recently had babies, the benefits of breastfeeding, both for myself and for my son, that especially immediately after giving birth, having him chest to chest and feeding him would help him to heal and help him to consolidate his new world and become better acquainted with being outside of the womb. And that it would help me potentially fight off breast cancer, or just even reading about the different ways that our bodies read our children. So while Zeke's nursing, my breast scans him to see if he's well, and if they registers that he might be coming down with a cold, brings out antibodies and vitamins that he needs to keep his immune system strong. It's just insane how something so natural and so beautiful and so necessary is shunned. And I think there should be more education about it. And I was fortunate to have been advised by a friend to go to Babies R Us, and they hosted a ton of different classes about baby CPR and breastfeeding and how to prepare, and they're completely free. And it was just great knowing that there's a community out there to support you, especially when you go on forums and the dialogue is contrary to what you would expect. I think it's silly that there's commercials about end the mommy wars that we should all work together to do what we think is best personally for our children, and to commend each other for the efforts we put in. After having Zeke, I was the primary parent by choice. He is my first son, my first child. I was certainly overprotective, but it's a bond, I think, that's inherent to being a mother, that you are possessive of the child. You spent 9 months creating and making this human, this part of you, that it's only natural to want to be the one who's with them all the time. We were fortunate to have set a good schedule relatively early on, and we created stations throughout the house to where him and I would sleep downstairs. I had extra pack and play, and we have reclining couches, and I utilized that and would switch out day and night for the bed and the pack and play upstairs, and just to ensure that Daddy got the rest he needed to go to work. I am fortunate enough to work for a company who gave me 12 weeks off, and I was able to spend that time bonding and getting to know my son. But in that time period, being home alone, there's a different side of motherhood that comes out. The loneliness that comes from not having a support system you expect. When you think of being pregnant and bringing a new child into this world, you think back, or I did, on the stories of your mother and families back in the day that relatives would bring dishes of food and come and help clean and come and help tend and give you a break. I was fortunate that his parents were there to watch his other children when I needed, and I had a family friend I could call upon if I needed a couple of hours to take a nap or to do laundry or clean. Because try as I may, I can't put aside my desire to have a clean house and raise a child at the same time. And I know it's fickle, but I prefer trying to do both, and as a first-time mom, it can be easily overwhelming. And then being with someone who already has children, the expectation of their reaction to their child with what I felt it should be to what it was displayed was hard on me.